Hey, it's Kat Bambini, Narcissist. I had an urge to do a video today, and today I want to talk about hello to new viewers, welcome to new subscribers. I've had a few. Thank you so much for subscribing. Hopefully I keep you entertained and don't annoy you too much. Sometimes I lose a person here or there, but usually people stick around, knock on wood, knock on part of a board. Today I want to talk about how to talk to a narcissist. Okay, I was going to do how to be useless because somebody called me useless once. There's a song by Ministry about that. I mentioned it last time. It's a great song. But once you've been called useless, it's just there's not really much going back when somebody says that from their heart, that you're useless. So you're like, okay, glad to know. I'll definitely waste my resources on somebody else. You know? So, useless. But it was a good thing because, I'm pretty useless to the normal world, I think. Although I can work a 9 to 5 and I do business. But anyways, we don't want to talk about me, okay? It's a narcissist thing to talk too much about yourself, right? To put it all around you. So how to talk to a narcissist? A lot of people say don't, but there's a lot of them, and a lot of them like me, and a lot of them are in the bay. And they've told me they are, okay? So it's not something I'm diagnosing. 111, twin flames, hello. So if you have them in your family, or you have them as friends, or you have them in your life at work, that's why you're watching this channel, you want to know how to talk to them. And this is from the heart, so I just go straight from the heart. I believe in some sort of power source, God, something, although I don't think it's a male guy with a white beard, like Santa Claus. So when you're talking to a narcissist, first of all, you'll notice identifying features, so you might want to go back through some videos or watch some other videos here on YouTube about the identifying figures of a narcissist to find out if you're talking to one. And they're very distinct. There's sociopaths, psychopaths, and narcissists, the 3 in the dark triad. And they're all people who do not consider you an individual. They don't consider you anything but something to meet their needs, something to hurt, something to maim, kill, or something to just drain energy from. So a lot of narcissists you'll find take your energy. You'll be around them and you want to create a bubble. There's a woman here, I'll try to find her name, I think Sandra Robles, who does a meditation about creating a barrier, like love around yourself, picture love, light, protection, and reflection. And my name's Kat Bambini, by the way, for those of you who don't know. And I live in San Francisco, and I talk a lot about narcissism because I've had to deal with it a lot in the music industry. I'm on a record label. I've done a couple albums. I don't do it right now. What I do is I lip sync and I do poetry on Instagram, which really got big. And then I did something where they disabled it. It was very, very popular, and they just didn't like it. That it was so popular, I think. So I got locked out, and then they told me it was disabled. And now it's like I need a passcode to get in or something. So I had to give up and start over. So a lot of you that follow know that, and this channel kind of correlates with the Instagram, with some posts on Here's to Being Production, which is where I post about narcissism and relationships, mostly relationships now. It's going towards that, but some about narcissism too, and I share some of my story. You can share some of yours in the comments. Although be careful in public forums, you can also share down here. Just be careful because narcissists do read everything you do, okay? They're obsessed. And they need you to be their property. And once they've marked you as theirs, first of all, they'll sidle up to you and they just start extracting information. So you can tell, I get very suspicious when people start asking a lot of questions. I've always had a problem with them, probably because I dealt with a lot of narcissistic individuals in the biz, and also I grew up in the classical biz. So I had a pianist for father, and there were a lot of sycophant type people hanging around who wanted to be famous or wanted, they just wanted what he had. He's really talented, and so everybody called me Shirley Temple, and I was really mad at them all the time. They always considered me like little child celebrity, but I wasn't doing movies or anything. I was really jealous of, like, say, Britney Spears. Poor baby, come over anytime, Britney. She's welcome over here. I live where there's a lot of surveillance. But anyways, whatever. I feel so bad about this issue she has. It's like, I love Toxic, I love all her songs. And I didn't grow up as a child celebrity, so I had the benefit of living in a small town, and which I ran away from because I got beat up a lot. So I wrote about that on my Instagram today. But for me particularly, a lot of them are in music and art, and a lot of them have confided me that they're narcissists, and I really got hurt by a lot of them. I had to study it, and I had to find out exactly what it was. I read a book by Shahida Arabi that really described it, and it was code, for what I've been dealing with a lot of individuals, and I had to figure out, I'm not one. I know for a fact a lot of people think I am because I'm in front of the spotlight. I've lost a lot of friends in the Bay Area. Most of my life I've had this issue, on a side note, of people not wanting me to be famous or popular because they get jealous. I have a lot of besties, or used to. God bless you. Everybody's my family. I have a lot of families. I was friends with a lot of old hippies, growing up, and their kids were just really mean to me, and I haven't realized that until recently when I've been reflecting and then realizing a lot of these people don't treat me well even now, and it's because I spend a lot of time in front of the camera. And so there's a difference between being in front of the camera. Oprah said this, people in the biz need to be in front of the camera, okay? So a lot of people watching want to learn about art, music, stuff like that. I talk about that too, because narcissism and the art world, music world, business world, they really do go hand in hand. There's a lot of people who are very narcissistic, who are very materialistic and obsessed with money. They consider you a property. I was talking to an individual who said something that really hurt me, and for example, and I realized, you have to consider when you're dealing with a narcissist, they consider you just an extension of themselves. So you can't have a conversation about you as an individual. You just can't. And I forget that. It's easy to forget because when you're a genuine, honest, caring, loving, loyal person like myself, you honestly feel like other people are just like you. And it's taken me until now, and I don't want to say how old I am, but I'm not a spring chicken. Okay, I may look like one. I've got some good water here in the Bay Area, but like good genes and some Native American and black a little bit, and just those really hardy genes and Spaniard. So it doesn't matter. It's not Gattaca. This isn't a gene check. And some Mayan. So, it explains a lot about me and my personality and why I'm so inclusive to everybody. That was training I got at work too. And I've also been trained on, sorry about the lip gloss. It's something that one of my boyfriends liked me to put on lip gloss all the time, so I do it all the time. I've joked about this on here. So it's funny. You can be yourself on this channel, okay? And I'm myself, and people that watch it like that. Some people can't hang because I'm too quirky. But I guess it's called being artistic, but I'm also a business person, so, I'm both. My grandpa told me to do business when I was younger, and so I learned it. And I'm getting an MBA. I dropped out of it because it was an issue with the numbers being rigged, and then also I left that job. So, God bless. But, some of those people watch this channel, and some of these people go around and still gossip. So when you're in the biz, or you're in the arts, or you're in the world, if you're on a label, if you work with music, stuff like that, there's a lot of people that hang around and they think you have something that they want. So narcissists in particular like this, they need to be famous, they need to be grand, they need to be big. So there's a difference between being on the camera and being, having to put yourself out there and being a narcissist. You have to be self-aware, and you have to look at your own work and your own music. You have to listen to it a lot. I had a bandmate who didn't like me to listen to my own songs. He said I was self-obsessed, and I was like, okay, we're not in a band anymore together. Just like, whoa. Like, all I wanted to do was listen to songs and workshop them, and they were like, no. So I was like, okay, cool. Let's have sex instead. No, thank you. I don't have sex with bandmates. So if you want to be my bandmate, I don't have sex with bandmates. This is a hard and fast rule. So I'm a little all over the place on this channel, but I go with the flow. So if you have any questions, how to talk to a narcissist, they're going to, once you identify that they're a narcissist, they're asking a lot of questions, and then everything directs back to them. You can pretty much tell it. I know a lot of you watching know this from dealing with it. Once you've studied it, there's a lot of videos you can go back through. I was going through a lot, so you have to be patient with them. But I pretty much covered everything in narcissism myself here on this channel that I was learning. You can also do Rosenthal, look him up, last name. He's a doctor who works on narcissism, and there's a doctor, Romney, who does it too, and also a woman named Lisa. I forgot her last name, but you'll find her on here. So tons of people are talking about narcissism if you're looking for it. It's very rare. It's not that many people have it, but if you're in a major metropolitan city, it seems like a lot of people are flocked to that area. So I've had that problem in the Bay Area my whole life with that kind of person who gets very jealous of my attention going elsewhere. They want to use me as an extension of themselves. I can't even tell you how many people I've had to leave cities 2 times in my life, and I used to run away a lot because of getting bullied, because of people having jealousy issues. Seriously, I even had a friend who I ran away because I was getting bullied, and she was mad at me as if I had run away from her. Like, there's just no empathy. So that's the problem with narcissistic people, is you have to remember they're never going to have empathy for you. Never, 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 okay? It's just to myself, anybody, they are not. So I projected I was like other people, they were like me. I didn't individuate, and that's when you find out who you are separate from other people. Sometimes it takes a long time to figure that out. If you have trauma, I had violence in my life, and so, it made it so that it was hard for me somatically to function, and that's fixed now. I've worked on it through yin yoga, I've worked on it through therapy, and a lot of stuff, a lot of that is gone because it's in your cells and your DNA, but you can repattern your nervous system. I've done that. It takes 7 years, I believe, to really change all the cells in your body. I believe it's 7 to 10, but you can really restart yourself over. And so when you're dealing with narcissists, you want to do like a circle of protection, love, light, protection, reflection, or some sort of meditation like Sandra Willis has, or any other meditation you find. I'll try to slow down. It's the 4th of July, so it's a good day. And it's sunny out, it's great. The birds are chirping. So, you know, you want to work out your own issues first, really, before you start really getting involved with people. I mean, you do learn through other people what you're like, and you learn as you go, so you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to sequester yourself away and then just not hang out with people. A lot of us do that now because of the pandemic. And if we're introverted or anything, we do too. Like, I'm better behind the camera than I am in person. I'm better on stage than I am, you know, in person sometimes, because I get overwhelmed. And a lot of people have tried to say I'm autistic or something. No, it's called being sensitive. A highly sensitive person who's very aware of everything, and also I'm psychic. I have a psychic teacher, a psychic coach too, and I've been psychic my whole life. It's always been an issue. Everybody in my family is psychic. Here's a joke on a side note. I was trying to use my psychic sense to connect with my sister and talk to her in my head, and my mom texted randomly. She's like, "Hi!" Like, she got the ping. It's really funny. I told my sister, we were laughing. But we're all psychic, so we kind of talk through our mind, my family. So narcissistic people, they don't really seem to have the third eye open, okay? They don't seem to have their chakras cleared. They don't seem to have any connection with you, okay? What they're looking at is they can be very charming and very, if you're gullible like I was, they will get all your information, act like they care about you, and if you have childhood trauma, they'll ask about that, and that's what they use to take advantage of you. And so I'm not interested in guys who are interested in a damaged woman. There's a lot of guys who used to pop up when I was having troubles, or they thought that my lip syncing was, you know, I was having troubles, and then they'd want to date me. And I'm like, I don't do that anymore. Like, I will not date somebody who wants me because I'm damaged. I used to go to self-help groups, and that's a great way to meet a lot of very psycho people, okay? And a lot of gossip. Be very careful about your story and sharing it. I had a problem where I couldn't get through a hurdle of job hunting, stuff like this, because of gossip. A lot of gossip about me that came from a person, and some lies that they had told about me. And they had planned to tell these. They told me that beforehand, that they would tell these lies. But I just really was blindsided, so you might want to watch a video on flying monkeys. There's a smear campaign video. It's way back on this channel. And there's some music. If you look way back, it's funny. But I'm a musician, just taking a break, doing lip syncing. You have to learn other people's music to be good at it. So a lot of people wonder what I'm doing, and I'm like, you have to learn other people's music. You have to get in the role. You have to, like Mick Jagger, people like that, they perform in front of the mirror. You know, you have to. That's not narcissistic. That's knowing how you are as a performer. Dancers do it too. So you've identified they're narcissistic, okay? They're asking you a lot of questions. They've settled up to you. It's always about them. It's always about their project. They always want to bring you into something they're doing. They want to have sex. They want to do this. They want to do that. Everything turns into them, and it's hard to describe it. I don't want to describe it and trigger anybody. But once you've dealt with it, it's very devastating to find that a person thinks you're useless, unimportant, selfish, whatever it is, for not paying attention to them, okay? So when I had to heal myself from a near death, the second time in my life, I had to go do some things, and I was using art and social to be active and political. And I made a lot of mistakes, but what are you supposed to do? When you're narcissistically abused during your life, you freak out at the end. You freak out because it's like pulling the wool off your eyes, and you want to tell everybody about it. You want to tell them about this person. Don't, if you can help it, do a private forum, because it just really, whatever you do, they have been practicing with the devil, I swear to God. I'm not gonna say it's devil, but they have some sort of philosophy going on where they have practiced how to screw you over. They read red pill forums. Those are where they learn how to manipulate women, men do. And they think that you're some sort of object to be manipulated. And so this is kind of how narcissists think. They think of you as an object to be manipulated, and something that once they convince you that you're beautiful, that they can help you with your childhood trauma, then they will get you hooked, and then it's a slow, systematic destruction of your soul. It really is. Narcissistic abuse is very specific, and it's very dangerous, and it's very hard to overcome. I've had to use a lot of quantum healing with Melanie Antonia Evans. I have a couple friends who started following her. I'm really glad about that. And once you educate yourself on it, you know what you need to do, which is a lot of times you need to leave and go no contact. But for a lot of people, they have to go gray rock. Okay, I have a video on that as well, I believe. And I have a video on the mental mind games that narcissists play. And so you can, just be careful, be patient with my way of describing it. I was learning as I went. It was really learning. I spent about 2 years learning about narcissism after the near death. And a lot of people just treating me like crap, and realizing that people were jealous, controlling. They didn't want me to trend. They didn't want me to be famous. They didn't want this. They didn't want that. And so I became silently famous through some things I did to find out about surveillance. And then it went away. So now I'm starting over. And so some of those folks are coming back. They're still around, stuff like that. But it was indie, it was grassroots. And so narcissistic people, they'll always tell you that you're a piece of crap, really, in the end. Like, they'll put down your ideas and they'll poo-poo you. First, they'll build it up. And so you're always having this jigsaw, I'm sorry, I'll slow down, of they're boosting you up and then they're pulling you down. It's also like the wheel of violence. You can look that up. The Duluth model, it's a little limited, but I took a battery class for a year to learn about violence, my own violence, and stop it and become nonviolence, because I had fought somebody. And this issue I was having was you fight back a lot. So if you're fighting back a lot, don't feel bad about it. Okay, they will look at you and they'll be like, you're violent, and then they'll never look at their behavior. Now, there's some people that split into two personalities when they're violent. They don't remember being violent. There are people like that. That doesn't give me an excuse, but just be patient with the mental illness of having split. They don't remember their violence. There's no way you can ever talk to them about it. I have an individual like that. They think I was the reason they were violent. And I laugh now. You gotta keep a light heart, okay? Keep a boundary, love, light, protection, reflection. Say a prayer, use a psychic. Attack video, like Quotable Integrity has one. They have a new one out. Check it out. I don't work for any of those people. I just listen to a lot of sound healing on YouTube. There's also a troll abuse sound healing on Bandcamp by the Sound Alchemist. I highly recommend them and that one, because you will get trolled if you put yourself out there on social. You will get trolled and people will send you hate thoughts and vibes. So you have to be very careful, especially if you're like me and you put out your personal information. Now I do that and I'm direct because I died twice in my life, and I had a part of me that was away somewhere in Golden Gate Park that I got back from when I was 15. And so a lot of people called me dead. I had a husband who joked that I was like a dead girl, Lenore, the comic, or Battle Angel, way before that came out. And I thought that was funny at the time. I don't think it's funny now. I'm not like that. So as you change and you grow and you heal, you'll find that a lot of people are not the same to you. They treat you like you're an object or property. They don't respond to you. They play games. And this is different than going no contact, okay? A lot of people call ghosting, it's no contact. If people are abusive, you can never talk to them. They'll never change. You have to remember that, okay? I remember calling the domestic violence hotline, and there was a gay man who answered the phone. He said, honey, abusers never change. And he said it in such a way that it was just like, I should have heard it, but it took me about 7 years more to figure out that was the case. And it just got worse and worse. The more help I got, the worse it got. And the more I was told, if you don't leave, you're gonna die. And I did die. So, it's listen to them when they tell you, okay? But you have to make the choice for yourself, and you make a safety plan. You make your own choice. It's hard for me to describe what happened. I had a lot of it documented on Instagram. You can go back. There's a lot of stuff still there, but I used lip syncing to communicate my feelings, which I wasn't allowed to feel or communicate because I was surrounded by narcissistic people who could not handle feelings. They do not feel. They don't feel. They have cut that part off. So either their childhood trauma has blocked it and they've decided to divorce themselves from their soul, because your feelings and your soul seem to go hand in hand with your somatic experience as a human. And that's it. They don't feel. I've had a couple that just don't feel, and they always want to get the last laugh. And so if you call them out, I had one that I called out when I was homeless, and they just railed on me in such a way that I was terrified. It was like I had opened up for the first time. I trusted them as a friend, and they took the opportunity when I was homeless to steal my property and to rail at me. And I'm having a hard time forgiving that, really, because it's just one of those things that my dad used to throw my stuff away a lot growing up, and so people who mess with my property or treat me like I'm stupid, I'm just like, wow. I'll put up with a lot. It's like, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on you, fool me 3 times, fuck you. And I love you, but like, you're just dead to me. And it's like, they're not dead to me. I never forget about people, but people get jealous, okay? They get jealous of attention, they get jealous of affection, they get jealous if you're in the spotlight, they get jealous if you're successful. It's like crabs in a bucket. They want to pull you down. If you're one crab getting out, the rest of the crabs will pull you back in. So you have to remember that. You're going to walk alone sometimes when you get away from individuals, and as you leave the narcissistic individuals, you'll find that all the people you were surrounded with were similar, and a lot of it had to do with the fact that you have super traits. You're genuine, you're loyal, you're affectionate, you're kind to everybody. We're raised like me to accept everybody, include everybody. Like my family was everybody's family. My parents were everybody's parents. Recently I asked my mom if she could be somebody's parent. She was like, no. And it was somebody who stole my stuff and been really poor to me, and they had blamed some situation that happened for their behavior. And they've been doing that for a long time, okay? They've been doing that from the beginning. They may have even stole my property once. So I just was an easy target for them. Some people, it's a game. It's a long game where they'll suck on you like keeping a fly in a trap. They're just off feeding from you. So you have to look very carefully for narcissists when you're doing really well too, because you might be giving. Like, you're not automatically immune to them. You might want to give a lot, like me, or if you're a light worker or psychic or something, you'll want to give to people, and you'll find yourself talking to all these people who are crappy because you don't have new people to talk to. Okay, so my channel and Instagram, a lot are my ways of meeting people, and a lot of people don't understand millennials. They don't understand social media. So I have a lot of friends who are Gen X. They're like, they don't want social media. They think it's stupid. And it's like, okay, technology is great. So they want you to quit it because it's in the way, right? And that's a little narcissistic because it's in the way of them, right? Or people can be narcissistic about what you put in your body, like a lot of men are with women, because once again, they consider you property. So don't expect them to understand you as an individual. What they're doing is they're trying to hook you in, not men in general, but people who are narcissistic, and convince you that you need them and then use you. And then slowly just deprogram you because they're jealous of your success, they're jealous of your beauty, they're jealous of you. They don't know that they also are beautiful. They're thinking they can get it from you. So they're hooking you, sucking you in, and then spitting you dry. And sometimes you get really stuck. I know a lot of viewers that watch are really stuck, and you're probably a musician or artist or a sensitive person. You're not fragile if you have emotions, okay? A lot of people have freaked out when I have emotions. They're like, oh my God, are you okay? I also have celiac disease, so my face swells up sometimes. And people are like, oh my God, are you okay? They think I'm high. They think because I'm being myself, which is like people have never seen me as myself. And sometimes it takes a long time for you to be yourself. So a lot of viewers who've watched this have watched me be able to get away from narcissistic abuse and become myself, being surrounded by people who don't treat me poorly. But once in a while, I want to talk to somebody who's maybe soul family, who has some traits, you know? So narcissistic people don't want you to do things that helps you. It's a competition with them. Like say they don't like pot, for example. That's one I had recently. They think it's a competition with them if you're on medical marijuana. Like it's either you or the pot, but that's like, excuse me, do you have autoimmune illness? I have autoimmune illness. It helps, and it's legal, okay? So it's not a competition between you and that. So somebody who has a problem with that, you're not gonna be able to hang out with them. Unfortunately, because they're gonna make you not go on your medicine to hang out with them, and they won't understand it. They'll think it's an issue with addiction or something. It's California, it's legal, you know? And it's like, you can take painkillers stuff, I don't take those. You know, I haven't taken those for like 10 years, I don't take them. I just won't. They're just so bad for you. So it's like, okay, would you rather I take painkillers? You know? So it's like an either or with them. I have friends who are like, I won't talk to them for a long time because I'm busy. You know, just hustling. You have to hustle. You have to work your job. You have to do social. You have to do whatever you do to make money, you know, and grant writing, whatever it is, you have to learn. You have to learn everything. And then you have to have a relationship. I don't have one of those right now. I'd love one, and I know how to do it with a power couple. But somebody who's going to need a lot of attention, I've never been good with that. Somebody who's going to be 9 to 5, I've never been good with that. I do it when I have to. When I have to. I'd get a 9 to 5 now. I'm looking. But, you know, it's like I've always been in the spotlight or putting myself out there, doing shows, stuff like that. And I've met a lot of stalkers, a lot of narcissistic people, and I was very, very genuine and sweet and kind to everybody because I grew up wanting to be inclusive to everybody. So it's not about me, but I just want to say, if you have those super traits, loyalty, kindness, honesty, you will be blindsided by one of these. So really educate on them. Make sure you know what they are. Everybody has narcissistic traits, okay? It's not bad to have narcissistic traits because you need to know who you are. You can look at your own videos. You can listen to your own music. You can enjoy your own company. It's okay. Don't let somebody come along and tell you that you're narcissistic if you're enjoying your own company and you like yourself. People do that to me all the time. I'm like, excuse me? They do it to my mom too and my sister. And we're just very much like, we do our own thing. We don't BS. We don't play games because we've got beat up, all of us. My mom and my sister growing up by people who just were small town and cliquey. And so it's, you know, if you're talking to a narcissist, don't talk about yourself, okay? Don't talk about personal information. I know I'm getting to this in the end. I hope you've stuck with me through this. You'll notice with these videos, if you're watching, for those who are watching, you're like, okay, I know, get it. I include a lot of topics. I go straight from the heart, try to go with what spirit tells me to say to you that you want to hear, and I ask the angels for help. Sometimes they're here, sometimes they're not. You can watch a video on how to talk to your angels. And also you can talk to the dead. I'm a spirit whisperer, okay? I don't really entertain them anymore because they came to me a lot when I died, and a lot of people came to me wanting to have me take care of their kids, wanting me to talk with them, and I got to know some people. And so that's really touchy for some people. I don't mention it to them. You know, especially because a lot of people thought I was crazy because I didn't end up having children. I had miscarriages, and they weren't planned anyway, but it really affected me because one of them in specific was just an energy, right? And so it's hard for me to talk about this because sometimes people are watching that might be involved with that person, and so it doesn't make me less of a person, you know? I have some spirit daughters floating around. They're probably like, oh my God, I never date you, but it's cool. They don't have to deal with them. It's not like they're gonna see them. But if you're a spirit whisperer like I became, you want to set some boundaries with that too, okay? You don't want anybody just coming to you. I used to have everybody coming to me. And it's not like I saw them, it was more in essence. You feel in essence, you know when somebody's there. My grandma was here for a long time, and then I feel like she went, she passed, she'd help me. And she's hanging around for a long time, and I feel like she went now. I feel like I helped tell her story, and she helped me get through a lot. So That's a side note. I talk about some of that stuff on here. It's a lot about narcissism, but it's a lot about just being a healthy person and learning how to have healthy relationships. Resisting narcissists in your life, resisting narcissism in yourself, especially if you're in showbiz. Okay, and that means being on a label. That means doing performances. That means, lip syncing or art, whatever you decide to do if it's trending, and however you decide, poetry. When you're out there in the public eye every day, social media, doing things, acting. I take acting class that make it so that other people don't understand you. They start to get jealous. They think that you're spending a lot of time in front of the camera, a lot of time trying to be in front of other people. But if you're called to do that, if you're a child actor, if you're called to do that, if you're an actor later, even later in life, most of my favorite actors like Susan Sarandon, people like that, they're just great. What's my other favorite one? You probably know her. Everybody knows her. Meryl Streep. I love her. But our Susan Sarandon, Sophia Loren, it says age is nothing but a number. It's all in how you carry yourself inside. Never give up on your dreams, okay? So narcissistic people, they're jealous. They don't think they can do it too. And a narcissist does not mean showbiz, okay? A lot of people call people who are celebrities narcissists. That's not true. You don't even know what they're dealing with. People like Britney, people like that, you do not know what they're dealing with, okay? It's the same for them as it is for you, but now they have way more barriers between, like, say, just going to the grocery store. And they have a lot of money or estates, people involved, people tied in, like say with Britney and her dad. Amy Winehouse had this issue, who just abuse you, okay? And a lot of people end up going into showbiz because they need to fill a hole. That's what she said, but they need to fill an emptiness in themselves. And I met a lot of people like this, working on a label, when somebody was on a label, working with my other bandmates, working with people, getting to know people, doing shows, stuff like that, living in LA for a while, who were just really sycophants, just really wanted what you had, thought they'd get famous by hanging out with you. And I met a lot of really crappy people. I got really abused online, got troll abuse. Like I said, Sound Alchemist has a video on that. I should listen to it today too, because it's really hard to tell your story, especially when you've been narcissistically abused. I didn't for a while, I didn't want to. And I was going nuts for a while because I just lost it, I cracked, okay? And you can do that. Slayer says, go nuts, Slayer. Go nuts, okay? Go down to the bottom of their soul and come back. And then everybody who tells you blah, 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 just tell them to go pack it. Peace, but go pack it. And I could fight back. I'm not somebody who's gonna sit here and take it. I have to say that because when you practice nonviolence, some people are just like, oh, and then I can go beat her and mug her and rape her. No, thank you. I've been born again of anything that's ever happened to me. So any angry patriarchs who want to come claim me again, it never happened. I love you though, let's play music. So everybody takes this personally. They always think it's about them. There's been a lot of people in my life, I have to say. So don't take it personally, it's not about you. If you're soul fam, this is for the public. And this is for you if you're in my soul fam and you're dealing with this, which I know a lot of my soul fam, I have a lot of soul fams, not just one soul fam family. I have a lot of soul fam families. I've been thinking about this over some time by myself, about 2 years by myself, fixing my shit. Excuse my French. Have to deal with this. They have to deal with narcissistic abuse, especially in America where you have a patriarchy. I don't have any problem with it. It's just I'm an equal, and so usually I've been with somebody who's an equal, and so we're equal. If they don't treat me equal, I'm gone. And I was treated equal growing up, and my mom was very forward and equal and did her own thing, and she didn't even take somebody else's last name. She changed hers back. I didn't take anybody's last name. When I had to get married, I didn't want to. I kind of just did it. I was told not to by a counselor, but I was homeless, so when they said that, and so I ended up dating the person, and we ended up moving in together, and we had a relationship. So God bless them, but they're not my bro, okay? I have another bro now. So she knows it, I think. I hope so. I hope she knows what she did. I think she just reached out in a way I knew something was up, okay, and I had to let some people go that watch this, that have behaved in ways that are narcissistic, okay? I'm not gonna call them narcissists because I can't diagnose. If people tell me they are, then I know they are. And sometimes it's very subtle. You might have somebody who's a martyr narcissist. They do nothing wrong, okay? There's nothing they can do wrong. And just the nice guy syndrome, there's videos on that on here. If you're one of those guys dealing with it, the nice guy syndrome, you have to be a nice guy. So you block off a part of yourself because you're a nice guy, right? But you're still violent, you just don't remember. There's a lot of guys like that, okay? That's not just narcissists, that's patriarchy. And that's also considering women property extension of you, which is totally ridiculous because we have men, okay? Men, I'm thinking women develop first, or maybe we develop together, who knows? But it doesn't make sense to me that you would come out of a man's rib. It's like, hello, that's narcissistic to think about. I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody who's Christian. I really love Christian ethics. I love all religions, okay? So I don't really want to talk about that stuff too much if it's going to offend people. A lot of people who watch are atheists. They're just talented individuals who are dealing with narcissistic abuse, or people I've known, people who want to check in on this and are really struggling with it, because it's an ongoing, lifelong thing, especially if you've been narcissistically abused your whole life. So don't tell them a lot of personal information, okay? That's the main thing. Just really don't. If you're a person who wants to share stuff, do it in a way that's safe. Do it on your social, with people who can support you. But don't do it one-on-one and give people info. I still do that. I'm just so open. I'm a confessional poet, all this stuff, and I just still get shafted all the time. So I have to keep myself sequestered away in a high-profile area where there's a lot of surveillance and it's safe, which sucks, okay? It sucks, but it's necessary. If I could, I'd have a bodyguard, because it's kind of that situation where there's a lot of men who have abused me and kind of taken me hostage. And I'm old enough now that I'm just like, I know what to do. It's just, I used to call the police for help, and I ended up owing a lot of money. A lot of people got a bad impression about me. A lot of things got taken out of context because they were happening in many different counties, and so I just dropped it all, and I'm like, whatever, human rights organization dropped me. My lawyer dropped me. There were some issues with the Catholic Church, okay? And it was nothing to do with the Catholic Church, but a lot of cops are Catholic. So I don't mind. I'm Catholic honorary. I think I've earned it. And I don't mind it because they like the law, and that's why I like them. And that's why I feel safe in San Francisco, okay? It's Catholic. I just love Catholics. I don't know. I really do. I love the weddings. I love the saints. I love the chapels. They have chapels where you can go hang out. Anybody can. So all denominations are welcome. They include Black and gay people. They're doing a lot of PR about that now. And more than the Mormon Church, I feel like, sometimes, which is what I grew up with. But that's a different subject, okay? I have a lot of people who watch it from these different religions, and so I'm just trying to speak to everybody at once. This is what I do here, because I can't have friends, apparently, because everybody wants to be my only friend. And so they've decided, fuck you, excuse my French, since you won't be my only friend. And I can't do that. I have so many friends. I can't. Especially if you're in showbiz, okay? You have a lot of friends. You talk with a lot of people. You have to be an extrovert. People don't like that. They think it's weird. It doesn't matter. They just won't like it, okay? Break the matrix. Do your own thing. Don't tell them a lot of personal information. Don't be alone with them if you can help it. If you're at work, I had a lot that would go on walks with me, and they'd pick my brain, and they hung out with some friends I knew. I think they still do, okay? And then tell them information. They gossip, and that gossip can kill you. I have a video on gossip. In elementary school or junior high, there was some gossip that pretty much killed me. It ended up with me being really abused badly in San Francisco as a homeless teenager. And it took me most of my life to recover from that and really even knew what happened. I just forgot, okay? And it took me a lot of years to write about it and heal it. So narcissistic abuse, they don't want you to be individual. They don't want you to take care of your body. They don't want to, unless it helps them. You can argue it will help them, but they're kind of fickle. They'll just change their mind on a whim, okay? Depending on who likes them that day, what they're involved with. Like, I noticed a lot of them, they really liked when other people were giving them attention, like at work or stuff. They'd be very, very happy in an abnormal way. And then they'd stop paying attention to me. And that was fine. I don't need a lot of attention, but like, I like you to be present. So, but otherwise it's like, I don't need you to pay attention to me all the time. I do my own thing too much, I think, for a lot of dudes, a lot of patriarchs. But a lot of women will fight over the patriarch thing, to get back to that topic, because they think they have to have a patriarch, so they'll fight for your patriarch. They'll fight for theirs, like it's you or their patriarch. And it's you or their kids, it's you or this, and I've had so many like that. And then they want you to visit, and you're like, okay, but I have like 10 families with kids who want me to visit in different states, what am I gonna do, right? I have a channel for that, so people can catch up. I love you all, don't have issues with you. If you don't respond to me when I text, then maybe I'll just not talk to you anymore. If you decide to be abusive, maybe I won't talk to you anymore. But it takes a lot for me, okay? And then people can't handle it. They'll just keep attacking me. So sometimes you just have to change your number a couple times. And then people still get mad at you. They try to find you other ways. It sucks. People need to be themselves, okay? And narcissists don't want you to be yourself. They're kind of like somebody called them a meat puppet. I don't think that's fair, because I think it's a disability or disorder. I don't think you can choose necessarily when you're little to separate yourself from God and be a Satan. But it seems like they are sometimes, because they're just so disconnected from feelings. You have to remember, it's just they have no feelings, okay? Some people thought I was narcissistic because I could not feel physically in my body. It caused me to be in pain, and so I was scared of it. It was very scary to be vulnerable and feel. And now when I do, I have some friends who are just very blocked up from their feelings who freak out because they've never seen a feeling. I'm really direct. They're like, what the hell? They don't know how to deal with this. They just treat me like crap. And I'm like, okay, I won't talk to you. So that's what happens. And so it's like, it's hard to communicate with people if they're being narcissistic or jealous or controlling or possessive. You just can't. You really can't. You have to have your own boundaries and take care of yourself. Hail Mary. and just pray that people will come into your life that can be your friends, value you as a human, let you do your art, let you take care of yourself, let you take medications you need to take in your body, treat your illnesses, let you party if you need to for your 40th all year. That's kind of what I've been doing, but you know, partying is still working full time for me. It's still looking for jobs. It's still all that stuff. So whatever. Work hard, play hard. You know, I don't take a vacation. I wish I need to. I have a ticket for Bali. I still have somewhere to find it. Somebody got mad about that. They were supposed to wait. Whatever. I'll go to Sicily with them someday. I didn't go twice. I went to Malta. I didn't go to Sicily. Just couldn't. Some issue I have. Some ancestors. Not mine. Some that talk to me. They used to. A lot. About violence, about healing it. So I've been doing that in my own family line, many generations, trying to heal the violence, getting less and less violent as the years go on, mostly my patriarchal side. And so that's been really hard for me. It's been really helpful, though. I really encourage it for anybody. Yin yoga, I used police a lot. I don't anymore. Too many debts. It's impossible even to survive right now with that amount of debts. I don't file bankruptcy, so it's really hard to think about how I'm going to do it. But I'll figure it out. I think God will provide, God will provide, universe will provide, spirit will provide, whatever it is, you'll find your way. If you're dealing with narcissistic individuals, I hope I talked enough about it. Just don't share personal information. Identify who they are first. Know the identifying characteristics. Maybe I'll go over that again. Maybe I'll talk more about art too. Maybe narcissists in the art world. We'll see what happens. I just go by my heart, okay? And don't let them be exclusive with you. They want to be exclusive, okay? Whether they're a boy or a girl. I've had a lot of girls like this. They want to treat me like a doll. And then they get mad when I'm with other people. And then they exclude me from things. They'll go have parties, fun, you know, do fun things, and then not tell me about it, as if we have to not share those things, okay? Or they'll have children and think that I'm jealous. It's like, no, I'm never jealous of your children. I love you, and I want to eat your children for dinner. I love them. I want to hug them, especially if they're teenagers. Oh my God, I love teenagers, and they love me. So, and tweens are my favorite. I used to work with them in the library. I just love tweens. So all you tweens, if you're watching with your moms, there's a couple who are. I love you. You know that. I hope you know that. Tell them that. And if you're not today, that's okay. But I know some do watch. And sometimes they cuss too much. I know. God, I'd have to work on it. Sorry about that. Probably they don't watch for that reason. But I had some I grew up with, some really cool ones that were little rock stars, and I miss them. One of their dads, I have their books, so I gotta get those back to them. Like Search and Destroy and stuff like that. I've never read them. Okay, I have them. They're very valuable, so I'll get those back to that person. But their daughter I love so much, and their mom, I think they know. They don't watch this though. Somebody might. It goes through the grapevine. It's small Bay Area. I know so many people, so many groups. It's hard to be a person here and reach out to the whole world to teach about narcissistic abuse, but I need to, and make friends, because the people I've grown up with are very exclusive. They're very exclusive and elitist, and they want me to be their only, and I can't. Unless it's a partner, of course. I'm exclusive. I'm never going to have emotional cheating. I'm just for you. I'm not open. I'm not any of those things. So a lot of men have tried to make me do some of those things, and it's been a nightmare. Okay. But I'm not a square. I just have to say. So, you know, I hope I said enough. Angels, did I forget anything? Be loving. Okay, be loving. Don't be mean to them, okay? Don't be like them. I remember there was a situation where I was not going to pay somebody for something, and I paid anyway, because I was talking to my mom. They're like, be how you would want to be. So I did. And of course, they didn't act like I did. They acted like I had shafted them, and I just, God bless. I'm sorry. I even tried to help them save face later. Like, maybe you had to do, they don't remember. It's like blissful ignorance. So I don't care. I don't talk shit. I don't gossip more. I'm talking about personality behavior. These are sketches of people. People are going to take it personally, of course, because they almost think it's about them. If you're narcissistic, you think everything's about you. I've had this problem as a woman, as a pretty woman, I guess people have called me. PGB, pretty girl problems, where everybody thinks it's about them if I'm talking. There's a lot of guys who have a thing for me, and I'm not saying I'm anything great. Okay, guys have this problem too, especially very attractive men. I'm sure you do, bros. Tell me about it. Where everybody wants you to be the one, or they think that you're talking about them, and so they take it personally. I don't know if guys have this too, but girls have it a lot, where guys, there's a machismo, they think it's about them. Okay? And it might be a caricature sketch I'm doing. It might be an amalgamation of people. It might be people from my whole life, because there's been quite a few of them in a materialistic, very expensive place to live where it's all about business, which I don't have a problem with, but it's just hard for people to survive here if they're artistic, if they're different. And so I've been very lenient with people, very generous, very genuine, and I've had to realize they're not like me. So realize this, viewers, they're not like you. Unfortunately, look for the patterns over time, write down patterns over time, write down their behavior, so when they say to you, oh no, I wasn't that, Sorry, I just say something. You made me do that. We're off the cuff here. You look at your notes, okay? Because you'll forget. Abuse, read Why Does He Do That by Lundy if you're a female. And, men could relate to that too, I think, especially if you're gay. Read it. And, or you're bi. I'm not. I have a rainbow blanket in my room for the wall, like covering, and some people think it means I'm gay. I'm like, it's a rainbow blanket. But you'll turn gay if you look at it. You cannot turn gay by looking at a rainbow blanket, okay? And it doesn't make you gay. You know if you're gay or not. Some girls think I am because they have a crush on me or they fantasize about me, and I'm like, no. I love gay people, though. I took human sexuality as a minor at San Francisco State, and we had people that were male to female or female to male, so I really learned a lot about it living in San Francisco. And so we're very open to that. We've been very inclusive lately with London Breed. But this isn't about this. It's kind of a local about the city thing now, because I have to get people on my page if they're here, because I can't. You have to start where you are. Okay, a lot of times you want to move. I want to move to Texas, where I was born. I was only there for a year. My dad was going to school and is getting his master's in classical music. And it was grueling. It really affected my childhood, and it affected how I was treated. And it was a competition thing. So nobody could be like him. It's the golden boy, but I was a golden girl. Okay, everybody called me Shirley Temple, and so I know how to deal with the golden boys. And I've had a lot of them in my life, okay? And it's fun to be with the golden boy. Sometimes they can be narcissistic. You get treated and it's spoiled really well, but once they turn their back on you, man, and I know somebody dealt with this with somebody I know, you're just dead. It's like you're called whatever. and you're not going to get past that. It's very hard to forgive. I've forgiven. I don't get hurt anymore, even though I still make mistakes with people by sharing information. Don't. If you're going to share information, or you say you take some shrooms or something, or your weed's really making it so you feel more sherry, just put your phone away, okay? Write down something, because that's a good time for you to make a mistake, or if you're drinking or something, out at night, just make sure you keep the phone away, okay? I've heard people say that. There's a narcissistic abuse coach on here. I can't remember his name. I'll have to find it. He's really good. He talks about that. Be careful about that, because that's when you can be weak and you'll make a mistake, okay? And you'll want to unblock them. You'll want to, because you still feel them in your soul, but you want to get them out of your soul. You don't want to be connected anywhere with that type of person, okay? Especially if you've had sex with them. You can listen to, I think it's Raham Buna. I think that's the name of it. It's a video on clearing out your energy body for sexual contact on quantible integrity. And there's another one on your emotional body to watch. I think I'll watch those. So I have a lot of information for you guys. It needs to be longer day, angels. God bless, they say. Don't ever forget that angels have been asking for them a lot, especially as you go through transitions. It becomes very hard to get through, so don't forget to ask your angels for help, even if you don't believe in them, because it's good practice just saying out loud, help me. Okay, now be careful with the help, because you don't need to just take any help an angel gives you. No. Know what you need to do. This is the matrix, and you can get outside of the matrix, and you can make choices for your life, okay? Just like Lauryn Hill says, even when you're dead, you can be reborn. I did a cover of that at Cat Bambini. I've known that song for a long time. I love it in Wyclef. But, anyways, say some of your favorite songs down. Well, people don't want to say that. Maybe your favorite music genre, okay? People feel like they're going to get hurt if they say their favorite music. Or tell me about men. If you have this problem where every girl thinks it's about them, and girls, if you have this problem where every girl thinks it's about them, every man thinks it's about them, and so you're performing or doing something and they think the song's about them. I think there's a guy I sent a letter to once, because he was really nice, and I freaked out. I couldn't be around that. I thought I would eat his heart out, and I didn't hook up with them, and he was really wondering why I think I wouldn't have sex with them. And I wonder sometimes he thinks I'm in love with it. A lot of guys think I'm in love with them. Because at one time I didn't know what it was, okay? I didn't know it's a mutual thing. You fall in love, you can have a spiritual connection, psychic connection, and you get to know people over time. That's how I am. And then you actually have to tangibly do things in the real world to meet with them. You have to talk with them. You can't make assumptions, I do poems and stuff, and they're funny jokes, but I'm not really making any assumption about anybody if they're not doing anything tangibly. I'm never going to assume I know who you are or what you're doing, okay? So reach out to me if you feel like talking. But otherwise, I do have other ways that I date. I don't use social to date. This is for narcissistic abuse research. This is for the music biz, showbiz. This is for you wanting to be artistic and not be hurt by narcissists. This is for you wanting to be yourself and not be hurt by narcissists. And for you wanting to get in touch with your spiritual, psychic, and emotional, and somatic, physical self. So I hope that helps, guys. I don't want to leave today. I feel like it needs to be longer. Some people are probably going to get mad at it, some angry patriarchs. But, you do get out in America with patriarchs. I don't play that game. I'm exempt, okay, from the patriarchy. I feel like the piano competitions and that kind of lifestyle really made it hard on my dad. And so he didn't really have the tools to give me what I needed. And so I'm an equal. I'm a modern equal. just like most millennials who watch probably are. And I'm not saying I'm exclusive to just millennials. I'm on the cusp, Gen X. So I grew up with a lot of those people. They were very bitter, sarcastic, funny. I love that humor, but it's like I don't like being mean. Narcissists are mean. They'll put you down when you do stuff. They always put you down. There's always little jabs. Be very careful about that. And don't talk to them very much, okay? And don't talk to them about yourself or your art. It's hard if you don't. Like, I remember I was at work, and I would do some things that people would come and comment on it because they saw it online or something. And I was like, oh, they see me in the paper, like with the ghost ship fire. Like, I wrote about it, and I was in it. I played in it before it went down. And one of my friends lived there. And so it was really devastating to me. And those, I think it was 13 people. I think it was more. I was, oh, God. I'm not remembering the number. It's going to make some people sad if they know those people. But I feel like I talked to some of their souls, and they were happy. They had died happy, even though it was hard. And so they had gone to a better place. But I don't want to offend anybody who has had to deal with that, because it's in my heart. I wrote a review about it before that place, went down, and I didn't know much about fire prevention either. I remember it being really scary to be in there. It just didn't feel right. And so God rest their souls. Some beautiful artists. I want to cry. They died. So I lost it. But yeah, so say rest in peace to Ghost Ship. I feel bad I played there first. I was one of the first to play there. So it was one of the only places that was inclusive to artists in the Bay. So a lot of places shut down after that, so I stopped playing music. I have some bros that are in one of the last practice spaces. I have a lot of bros in that space. Last practice space in the area, so I know I could probably go play music with them if I wanted to, but it's been really hard for me. So yeah, anyways, didn't mean to end it like that, angels. I just said God bless. Rest in pieces. No, just kidding. The worms will eat you, okay? Into the Psychic TV Alien Sky song. Man, okay, I'm not gonna, that's an emotion though. Those are okay. If you're a woman, you'll have them. A lot of women in my life had them, especially mothers, okay? Be gentle with mothers. Especially if they have issues with their hormones, okay? A lot of mothers have weight issues after they have kids. Don't put them down, men. That's narcissistic, okay? That's very abusive. They're gonna change. Hormones make it change if you have kids, so be careful, okay? Otherwise, and you can go cuckoo after you've miscarried and stuff. So don't get mean to people. Don't call them crazy. Come on, men. Don't call them crazy. Don't call people crazy just because they're not what you want them to be, okay? No. All right, I don't want to go today, but just want to say, what else? Just be careful when you're talking with them, okay? And don't make the assumption, but if you're like me and you're very vocal about yourself, just be careful, okay? With your personal information. All right, guys. My heart says to stay longer, but I don't know what else to say to you guys. It's already been almost an hour. I'm sure there's a lot of people who are going to be offended by this one. They always are, and I feel really bad for a while, and I can't do another one. So I'll do one again if there's enough views, and if people don't take it personally, and if the people who are watching it can learn from it, okay? But people are always going to be mad when you're yourself, because you're not them, I guess. And that's a little narcissistic too, so don't worry about it, okay? That's what I needed to say.